it a deliberate exercise to demean women, especially those who have dedicated themselves to upholding their faith. Mrs. Teo says MCI will continue working to protect women and girls from online harm. She says respect and safety for women must be the norm, be it online or offline.
The World Health Organization is planning another study to investigate the origins of COVID-19. The US and Britain have been pressuring the WHO, asking for independent experts to be given full access to original data and samples from China. Beijing has warned against politicizing the issue, saying it would undermine global efforts to overcome the pandemic.
Thailand has approved China's Sinopharm vaccine for emergency use. It's the fifth coronavirus shot to be authorized and comes 3 weeks after the WHO gave the jab the green light. Thailand is less than 2 weeks away from launching a coronavirus mass vaccination drive. It is battling a growing outbreak driven by prison clusters. 34 deaths and more than 3,700 cases have emerged in the last 24 hours. Philippines' athletes bound for the Tokyo Olympics have received their COVID-19 vaccinations. More than 500 members have been inoculated with Sinovac after being given priority. Some athletes say they can now train with confidence, knowing they have some degree of protection. The Games are scheduled to begin in July, although there's mounting opposition as Japan battles a COVID-19 surge.
Sri Lanka is dealing with the environmental fallout of a burning container ship off the coast. Tons of charred plastic have washed ashore near Colombo as salvage efforts enter their 9th day. Navy personnel have been deployed to clean the millions of plastic granules that are mixed with burned oil and other residue. At least 8 containers out of nearly 30 containing the plastic have fallen off the Singapore-registered vessel. There are concerns of even more pollution as the ship burns just outside Colombo Harbour. Officials are worried that the Express Pearl could break up, spilling nearly 280 tons of oil. It's likely to take days to extinguish the blaze, believed to have been caused by a nitric acid leak. The ship's crew were reportedly aware of the issue more than a week before the fire broke out. More now on this hour's breaking news from Malaysia. The country will enter a full lockdown from the 1st of June for 2 weeks as COVID-19 infections there surge. Melissa Goh joins us live now from Kuala Lumpur for more. Mel, the government has confirmed a total lockdown.
Yes, indeed. A return to a total lockdown is inevitable, according to a statement released by the Prime Minister's office. This after a record-breaking number of new cases Malaysia is witnessing the past week, surpassing 8,000 mark today, and looks set to rise further as infectivity rate is still hovering around 1.2. Now, the healthcare system is already at a breaking point, and the new wave is a lot more infectious and harder to control. And with mounting death toll at more than 2,500, the government said a full lockdown is for 2 weeks from June 1st to 14th, and during that period, only essential services can operate. The rest to stay at home. Now, it's a full lockdown. Details will be released by the National Security Council later, the statement said. Now, if the situation improves, the country then will move into phase 2 for 4 weeks, where there will be some relaxation in the movement restrictions with certain sectors that can adhere strictly to social distancing allowed to operate. Now, phase 3 thereafter will involve further easing like what we have right now, but details still sketchy at this point in time, but it appears to be a plan with 3 phases involved, depending on the situation on the ground. Now, Malaysians are gripped by the announcement today, and some, of course, will be welcoming because this is the fastest way, they said, to bring cases down, while others are considering the cost of the economy may be grave at 2.4 billion ringgit a day. That's over $600 million US, something that they have been weighing between life and livelihood for all this while.
And Mel, the pressure is also on Malaysia to now accelerate its vaccination drive. What's the progress been on that?
Well, it's a race against time, but with most of the vaccine supply yet to arrive, the minister in charge of National Immunisation Programme, Hairi Jamaluddin, urged the public to be patient and promised that the pace of vaccination will pick up significantly from June onwards. That's when some of the 16 million doses of vaccines are scheduled to arrive over the next couple of months. Now, since the rollout began last February, some 10% of the targeted population of 26 million people have received their first shots, at least now. It's still a long way off before the country can achieve herd immunity. Now, people are getting impatient, especially with daily runaway cases and mounting death toll. But Minister Khairi is confident to vaccinate 80% of the population, he said, by year-end. In fact, he announced today that the East Malaysian state of Sarawak will be first to be fully vaccinated. Now, he's promised to deliver 4.4 million doses of vaccines to the state government. Now, speaking from the state capital, Kuching, Mr. Khairi said this is to make sure that the country will not see a repeat of the Sabah state election, remember, last September, that unleashed the third wave of the pandemic, which today is still raging because what happened was back then people visited Sabah, including the politicians. It brought back the virus and spread to all the states across the peninsula. And now Sarawak state election is long overdue and everyone is worried about that. And Mr. Khairi said they must make sure that the state is ready when it happens, when the time comes. Let's listen in.
I don't know if you remember what happened during the Sabah state election. If the state of Sarawak is not fully vaccinated, by the time they have the state elections, then not only the state of Sarawak, but the entire country of Malaysia is at risk of another wave. And we cannot afford that. So it's not a political matter of preference, rather it's a legal requirement for Sarawak to have its elections 60 days after the emergency is lifted.
Now, Malaysia declared a state of emergency back in January to contain the spread of COVID-19 that unfortunately is still raging right now. The emergency proclamation expires on August 1st.
Mel, thank you for that update. Melissa Goh there in Kuala Lumpur.
Still to come, a search for alternatives to dairy drives up the value of an oat drink company. Plus, one woman's love of cicadas and the Olympics coming together.
Longing for a tranquil lifestyle? Singapore Property Show presents exquisite developments in the outside central region where peace and serenity await. Where great connectivity means amenities are never too far away. Experience stunning 4D virtual tours of these properties and get expert advice on property investments at our webinars. It's all happening at sps2021.99.co. Register now. The Singapore Property Show 2021 is proudly organised by MediaCorp and our esteemed partners.
Bearing the brunt of worsening global warming.
As we see the whole landscape changing, it is really impacting our way of life.
Can we reduce our carbon footprint to fight climate change?
We're doing our bit to not rely so much on the coal-fired power stations to power what we do in our house.
Are the steps we're taking really enough? CNA correspondent fighting climate change. Tonight on CNA.
COVID-19 has prompted us to reflect on what we have been doing. People are really asking themselves what really matters. The KPMG CEO Outlook is an annual survey that we do. So post-COVID, a lot more CEOs are taking this opportunity to rethink about what the organization's purpose is. And the alignment of purpose or what the organization stands for is really important. There is this moving ahead together with trust between the business and their customers. And with trust, all of us can emerge from the crisis stronger. So in KPMG, we attest to the reliability of financial information. And with that, it inspires confidence when people make decisions based on the information that we've tested to. And we're really excited about the future of KPMG, which will be technology and data-driven.
From the top stories in Asia.
A quicker, portable way of testing for COVID-19 in just 5 minutes.
To breaking news in the US and Europe.
US President-elect Joe Biden is set to formally introduce his top economic team.
With an eye on markets opening across the world.
Wall Street's major indices all closed the month with double-digit percentage gains.
It's the one bulletin that offers you a global perspective. World Tonight, daily, on CNA. Have fun while breaking a sweat on your next visit to Gangnam. Enjoy the weightlessness of bungee fitness, or learn the health benefits of pole dancing. So don't miss the opportunity to feel the burn with the latest workout trends.